What's up, folks? It's Rod with Pow Group. Hope you're having a great Thursday. It's Thursday, September 8th. And before we get started, if you can smash the like, all that good stuff helps support me in the channel, and subscribe, tick the bell to be notified on any future videos. Just as a quick heads up, before I forget, I am on vacation, but I'll continue to get live streams out periodically, videos out periodically as well. But let us know where you're tuning in from as well. And let's go. I'm going to share my screen here. We'll do a quick market update, after market close update, and then we'll jump into any ticker request. If anybody does have any ticker requests, just let me know. But like I said, we'll do a quick market update first. And we had a pretty eventful day in the markets today. I haven't really been paying too much attention to the markets, but we'll go through this here today. I'll give my thoughts and opinions, and we'll do a quick market update together. And we'll check in. So let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments below. So I did post a couple of videos recently. This one here, the altcoin season this September, everything is still lining up. It looks like next week's going to be a huge week with the Ethereum merge. And we also have NFTs coming to the XRP ledger as well. Next week's going to be huge. We know that the Biden executive order was due about a couple of days ago. So we should see an update sometime over the next week or two. Everything really starting to line up well with regards to a major catalyst in the crypto space. And we also had the descending triangle here on the monthly time frame on Bitcoin that is breaking bearish, and we're targeting about 30% here on the Bitcoin dominance, which means that will only be good for altcoins. And if we take a look at altcoins right now at the moment, we're pretty strong. Litecoin, we also have Flare Networks launching any week now, which we know Litecoin and XRP, XLM are going to be big parts of that as well. But we could even potentially see over the next month to 2 months, in my opinion, I think we could see a settlement with the SEC in the Ripple case. We know that over 95% of cases that get brought on by the SEC end in settlement. So odds are in our favor. But at the moment, we're in 15-minute uptrends across the board. And again, we were looking at that 39% support level. This is the lowest we've been. If we could go back here, it's the lowest we've been in 4 years, right? So at this point, we have 35%, 35.41% on deck as next support. And after that, we have a lack of support until that targeted measured move of this descending triangle, which we'd be targeting. You just take the base to the top here, and then you extrapolate it out, and we're targeting about 30% there on the dominance. So again, the fact that this is happening is very encouraging for the altcoin market. We could see massive fireworks, in my opinion, and we could see our true alt season over the course of the next month to 2 months, and maybe into the end of the year. So that's something that we were lacking in the previous bull market. On the bull and bear list today, the blockchain miners are doing really good today. Riot, Mara, and Hut leading the bull list. Cork Chain having a nice day here as well, up double digits. On the bear list, we have HP, MGTI, and Celsius. We'll take a quick check in on Bitcoin, the crypto space, and then we'll look at the broader market, and then we'll jump into some individual names, and then we'll look in, get an update on the MJ sector as well. But again, if anybody does have any ticker requests, make sure to place them inside of the live chat. And if you're just joining the stream, welcome, welcome. But taking a look at Bitcoin here, so we are seeing the monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. This is something that I wanted to see in order to be confident that we can expect the bottom to be in, at least temporarily, the local bottom and the temporary bottom. And we have that cross, and we're starting monthly consolidation, having lost last month's low at 19,513. I was saying for many, many weeks that we were targeting 18,500 on Bitcoin, which was the daily bear flag target. And look, anybody who tells you that technical analysis doesn't work, they have no idea what they're talking about, right? Like I've been forecasting this for weeks, that we were anything under that 0.382 fib there at 22,447 was a potential for a daily bear flag. And we didn't even get up to the 0.382. It was a weak bounce. We struggled with the 0.236, and then we confirmed it once we lost support there at 20,760. That was when we confirmed the daily bear flag. And at the target, you just take the measured move, right? You go from high to low, and then you move it out to the 0.382 fib. And that's exactly where it was targeting, was 18,500. So it's very possible that the temporary bottom is now in on crypto, and this would be good for the stock market as well, because we know that they've been very correlated. Bitcoin and the crypto space have been very correlated to the NASDAQ, and what has been leading this bull market and everything bubble of 2022, that would be tech and crypto. So the fact that it looks like Bitcoin could be setting a temporary bottom, something that we can't lose sight of the fact, though, is that on the monthly time frame, it is a head and shoulders here. So if we zoom out to the monthly, we had this left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and it also lines up at the 0.618. So we could be targeting, if we do lose the low there at 17,500, we could easily pull back, in my opinion, to 15,000 in a hurry. But the target of that measured move of that head and shoulders would be targeting 13K, and that lines up well with the 0.618 fib level as well. So if we do lose 17,500, I'm watching 15,000. Could happen pretty quickly. If we lose 17,500, we could, in a matter of hours, we could probably drop to about 15,000 on Bitcoin. But I think at least Bitcoin should find support around that $15,000 area, come back up, form a bit of a lower high, maybe on the weekly time frame, and then ultimately target 13K. But again, if 17,500 holds, the bottom could temporarily be in on Bitcoin. But it's looking real good. The fact that we're seeing that EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on the monthly time frame. So we'll move on here, taking a look at SPY. So SPY did close at the high of the day pretty much. And we started the daily bounce again today. So for the last 2 days, we've been bouncing. What does a bounce mean? It just means that we're breaking the high of the previous candle. So you can see here we broke yesterday's high, therefore daily bounce continues today. And what bulls are looking for now is a higher low and then a higher high to change that daily trend. And if we take a look at the weekly time frame, look at I have this frac from the .com bust overlaid here, but you'll be able to see the trend line here that I have drawn. So this trend line on the weekly time frame, we dipped below it, but right now we only have 1 day left in the week and we're set to potentially close above it. So nice strong support here on the weekly time frame. And again, we knew that we were expecting a pretty big pullback because of the fact that we hadn't consolidated in 6 weeks. Nothing goes straight up forever. And we were just scouting a higher low compared to 371. And again, so many people they don't understand technical analysis or charts. And if you don't understand chart, I'm not saying that, technicals are the only thing that we should look at. Fundamentals are very important as well, but you don't have to use one or the other. You can combine the two, and the more confluence you have, the more a certain outcome is going to, more signs, more signals, more indicators that are saying a certain thing, the more confident we are in a particular outcome, right? And it's just probabilities. And at this point, we still haven't even started the weekly bounce. So in order to start the weekly bounce, we need to break 405.84 resistance. Could happen tomorrow. We'll see. But I am of the thinking that the S&P 500 could be setting a temporary bottom here as well. I may look to switch some of my mutual funds. I'm pretty much 95% into money market right now in my mutual funds and my retirement account, being very, very nimble and being very, very protective of capital. Now is not the time. And if I do go back in, I'm not going to switch my mutual funds from money market into aggressive growth like 80 to 90% like I did last time. Because what do people do? They get greedy, right? If we're at the end of a bull market, if we're approaching the peak here, you want to dial back the range. You want to take your pedal, foot off the pedal, and you want to take your, you want to let off the gas a little bit, right? Because you don't want to get greedy at the end of a bull market unless you're going short, right? You want to get greedy if there's short opportunities now, because we're at the tail end of a bull market. And I think that now's the time where we could be sending a temporary local bottom. And in my opinion, we could even head up to 450s, maybe even 500 if we get the right, if everything aligns perfectly, right? And like I said, we know that crypto could be setting a temporary bottom. That's good because it's correlated to the tech stocks as well. And QQQ still hasn't started its weekly bounce yet on the daily time frame. Again, bouncing for the second day in a row. Could be a bit of an inverse head and shoulders here on both. We'll see how we react into tomorrow. But the DXY, the dollar, is still insanely strong. So in order for us to be absolutely confident that the temporary bottom is in crypto and the broader market, we need to see the dollar show some weakness. And right now, we're just not seeing any weakness whatsoever. We're in a daily uptrend. We're in a weekly uptrend, breaking 2 weekly higher highs. We're in a monthly uptrend, but we haven't consolidated on the monthly time frame since January. So that means we are now on month 8, going on month 9, without any pullback on the monthly time frame. Right. So just like SPY on the weekly time frame, it hadn't consolidated in 6 weeks. And I said, now's the time to be careful. We have no support till 371. We ran as high as 431. Right. That's a huge move with no weekly support. Right. We went 16%. That's the annual returns for the S&P. The average annual returns on the S&P 500 per year is about 12%. So in about a month, we ran 16%. Right. Like the volatility is picking back up. And that when we have that volatile action and move to the upside, you need to expect the volatile aggressive move back to the downside, because that's just how markets work. That's just how price action works, right? It gets extended to the upside. But again, we hadn't consolidated in 6 weeks. We knew it was due. And then sure enough, from the top there, we're now down almost 10%. So just like the dollar, we haven't consolidated now in 9 months almost. So we're coming on a year without any consolidation on the DXY. So when we do pull back on the monthly time frame, expect a pretty sizable pullback. We could pull back easily 6 to 10%, in my opinion, on the dollar, and that would be extremely, extremely bullish for stocks and crypto and everything else alike, right? All our asset classes, all our risk on appetite, right? But the dollar, something to keep in mind, the dollar isn't strong comparative to the past. Like the purchasing power of the US dollar has been going down tremendously ever since we got taken off the gold standard, right? But compared to the euro, the pound, the yen, the dollar is extremely strong. And that's because of all the rising inflation in Europe as well. But not only that, the geopolitical events and the war that's going on, but the monthly RSI now is almost pushing 80. Anything over 70 is considered overbought. So the fact that we're overbought now on the DXY, I think we're going to see a massive pullback and a massive bounce in stocks over the next couple of months. So it may not happen this month because in order to start monthly consolidation from here on the dollar, we'd have to pull back 4.5%, which is possible. So key support right now on the dollar is 104.63. If we lose that, we start monthly consolidation, first time in 9 months, essentially. And then we'll be looking for a higher low somewhere around 102 to 100, maybe a flush of 100. So, but again, if we don't lose that low of last month, this month, we've still got 22 days left in the month, but it seems like September's flying. So yeah, we have 22 days left in the month. It's possible that we start it this month, but I would say the most likely scenario is that we just tighten up into this month, and then maybe the dollar shows some real weakness next month. So let's say we don't lose the low of last month this month, then the low of this month, when the new candle prints, that we'll be looking at the low of this month for next month to see consolidation, right? So just keep it simple. If you don't have to look at the dollar chart every day, just say, okay, if we lose the low of the previous candle at 104.63, that's going to be the first time in almost 9 months and almost a year that we can consolidate it on a monthly time frame. We can expect a pretty big pullback. And if we don't lose that level, you don't even really need to check in, essentially. And you can even settle an alert that if it drops below that, you'll be notified, right? So, and again, we'll see. I don't expect a big move this month. I'm going to be taking about 2 weeks off, about a week and a half actually. But I'll continue to get videos out when I can and as often as I can. But I definitely will be not posting as much. I got family coming home from Ontario and going to be going to PEI. So really looking forward to seeing them. Haven't seen them in over 10 years. So really looking forward to that. So Tesla bouncing just like the rest of the market, the S&P 500, tech sector. So day number 2 with the daily bounce in a row, but we did get over our resistance here at 288.48. So the next resistance to be watching is 303. And what did I say on the last market update? I said, in order for me to be confident that the bottom is in temporarily on the S&P 500, we still didn't see the bear cross on the daily time frame on these EMAs, but we just saw it over the last couple of days. And I said, once we see that bear cross, I think the bottom could be in on the broader market on Tesla, right? Because it has such a heavy weighting in the S&P 500. So the fact that bear cross is already out of the way, that is reassuring. And it's making me think that, again, the bottom could be in on the broader market. And again, we did have that weekly support trend line that's holding. So I want to see us close the week over 392 tomorrow. So as long as we close a candle on the weekly tomorrow, as long as we close over 392 tomorrow, I think we're extremely bullish leading into next week. And like I said, we have the ETH merge next week. As long as everything goes smoothly there, we should see some fireworks. We have NFTs on the XRP ledger. There's a ton of bullish catalysts, and I already did a video on that, but you can check it out. Altcoin this September, altcoin season this September into October, and I give out a bunch of catalysts. One thing I didn't mention in there was the Basel hard fork on Cardano, but that's not going to be happening until the 22nd, tentative for the 22nd. On the bull and bear list, we have MVMD, DPRO, and SIRC. So again, this was one of those names I said be very cautious. We hadn't consolidated in. We ran 10 days in a row without any consolidation. And in those 10 days, we went up almost 250%. So I said, be very careful. And as soon as we lose the low of just like the dollar, right? Just like the DXY, as soon as we lost the low of the previous daily candle, we started consolidation the first time in 10 days. So again, we knew to expect a pretty big pullback. So even if you just went short there, that would have been about 44% profit on a short, right? So again, nothing goes straight up forever. On the bull list, we have VERY, VEGA, and Riot. I see we have some comments, so let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you have any tickers with the exchange. I would appreciate it. Makes things go by a little quicker, so I don't have to go searching for it. Sometimes things have multiple tickers as well and multiple exchanges. and sometimes in Canadian and US denominated dollars, right? So we want to just be as quickly as possible. But we take a look at the MJ space. So HMMJ, I've been saying for a while now that it's notably weak compared to the US operators. We're consolidating on the weekly time frame for 3 weeks in a row here. And if we take a look at MSOS, it's just on week 1 of weekly consolidation. So once we lost 1243, we started weekly consolidation. Now we're just scouting a higher low compared to 1096. So 1096 is the must hold support and the key support on MSOS. As long as we maintain that support, we're in a weekly uptrend, still intact. But we're in a weekly downtrend on HMMJ, right? We have the lower highs and lower lows. So again, very weak comparatively. But on the bull and bear list, on the Canadian side, we have TGOD, NXTTF, and ACB. ACB has earnings coming up. Posted it in the POW Group community earlier. So when is it? Just bring it up here real quick. So yeah, they will have scheduled a conference call to discuss the results for its fourth quarter on Tuesday, September 20th at 5 p.m. So yeah, they have that coming up very soon. So it'll be something we'll be looking for. I'm not expecting much, from the market. I'm not expecting Aurora to move the market whatsoever. Maybe once upon a time ago, but at this point, I don't think the market really cares. No offense to anybody who's invested in Aurora. And on the bear list, we have XTRX, Huge, and PSDN. So we'll just take a look at some of our names here real quick as well. Tilray, so weekly consolidation again on the daily time frame. A little bit weak, right? A lot of our broader market is bouncing on the daily time frame, and Tilray hasn't even broken the high of yesterday. So the S&P 500, Tesla, the tech sector, they've all been bouncing, breaking the high of the previous 2 days in a row, whereas Tilray's been consolidating. So we're starting to see that inverse relationship with MJ, where when tech and crypto are going down, MJ's starting to see a little bit of life and bid support, right? So that's encouraging, because what have I been saying for a while now? I've been saying that I don't believe crypto is going to, or I don't believe MJ is really going to enter a new multi-year bull market until crypto and tech enter or exit their bull market, right? So again, pretty weak here at the moment. Hexo back over 20 cents. So again, these are the leaders in the space, in my opinion, because they're working together. They're partnered with the strategic alliance. So if we factor in Tilray being the biggest company, it's essentially Afria, Tilray, Redican, Hexo, 48 North, Zenabis, right? And then potentially MedMen. Also, Molson Coors working in their corner, and now partnering with Tyson, right? And there was some news today that Alberta wouldn't be allowing the products either. That's not because of the past convictions that he had or anything like that, his image. It's because they did it with the trailer park buds. They don't want any products associated to any one person or persons, right? So the fact that it's Mike Bites edibles, that's referring to a person. The fact that it says Tyson 2.0, that's referring to Mike Tyson. So we'll see. Maybe they'll find a way to market it differently, and they'll be able to get into the AGLC here in Alberta. But at the moment, it's not looking like Quebec's going to support them, and it's not looking like Alberta's going to either. But if we see some sort of rebranding under the Canadian umbrella, that may make it possible. So we'll see. Lots to remain to be seen there, but I just don't understand, right? Columbia Care partnered, which is now being acquired by Cresco. They partnered with Tyson 2.0 like a year ago. No one said anything. Plus, MedMen carries all their products. Those products are carried by over 100 retailers in California. Like, come on, Canada. We're the one who's legalized, right? We're the one who's been almost legal for 4 years recreationally. And we still got all these insane rules, right? We can't sell any more than 10 milligrams in a pack and 30 grams per order. Like, we just need to get our act together here. I don't know what it is. I think they're just trying to hold the industry back as long as they can, right? So that the people who are threatened, the big alcohol and big tobacco, can get positioned, right? They need to move slowly because they move slowly, right? They want the market to move slowly. We all want it to run fast and go to the moon yesterday. They want it to stay low for as long as possible until they pivot their business or find a way to make money off of it, right? So you have to, that's one thing I really learned long ago. And that's what I try to preach in POW Group is think like a market maker, think like a whale, don't think like a fish. Think like a whale. How would you react if you were managing trillions and trillions of dollars, right, for assets under management? How would you react, right? How would you do things differently as if you were just a small fish in the sea, right? A small retail investor. So think like a market maker. And I think that's probably my biggest gift with regards to, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I feel like I have the mindset of a market maker. And that has helped me tremendously, not only just cope with emotions, but also learn how to spot trends and to decipher what this mainstream media narrative is. And quite often than not, they paint a narrative that is just not true, right? And that's because they have a motive. It's called playing your book, and it's not illegal. I don't know how it isn't, but apparently it isn't. But Tilray, one thing I want to note here is we did lose 317 support, but briefly. We hit 312. So we did lose the weekly uptrend on Tilray. So that is notable. But again, if we can close this week over it, I'll consider it a wash. I won't really pay too much attention to it. But now key supports at 312. After that, $3, and then the all-time low there at 243. Do I think we're going to go below 243 or even get to 243? No, I don't. But anything's possible, right? If the S&P 500, we have a black swan, if China invades Taiwan, if there's any kind of geopolitical events that happen that we don't see coming, we could easily see a hard and fast flush. Do I think we're going to stay down there for a long time? Absolutely not. But that's something that we need to be prepared for. Again, we can only control what we can control. And the only thing we can control is being prepared for the market to go up, down, or sideways. It can only do one of three things: up, down, or sideways. So as long as you're prepared for up, down, and sideways, it doesn't really matter, right? So how do you be prepared for more downside? Keep cash on the side. I did a post there not too long ago. We'll just bring it up real quick here as well. So on August 16th, I made a post. I said SPXS now up 40% from my call out on August 16th. And this is a screenshot from that. And then here's the actual message. So you can see here, it was from August 16th. And we can actually go to that message. And here it is. SPY hitting 430. Not too late to take an SPXS hedge position, folks. So SPXS is an inverse leverage. So when SPY goes down 1%, SPXS should go up 3%. And then vice versa. When SPY goes up 1%, this would go down 3%. Now keep in mind, they use this 3x leverage by way of options trading. So in order to get that extra leverage, they use options, and there's a sort of decay that's factored into this. So you don't want to hold this for a long period of time. My rule of thumb is I only hold it for about a month, 2 at the max. And if you want to actually short for the long term, 2 months plus, a month or 2 months plus, I encourage you to just buy regular short shares from your broker. If you're not sure how to do that, just contact your broker. But again, I said SPY hitting 430 and not too late to take a short position on the S&P 500. And again, that's how you prepare and cope with the downside, right? So again, how do you prepare for the upside? Well, you start to establish positions, you dollar cost average, and you scale in, right? And then how do you prepare for the downside? You can either hedge with an S&P 500 short position, SPXS. You can keep cash on the side. There's no right or wrong way. You can buy puts, all these different things, insurance policies, essentially, that you can utilize and have more tools in your tool belt. Is one more accurate than the other, or more, is the strategy better than the other? It depends on your strategy. It depends what you're used to, your experience level. If you're not experienced with buying dips and heavily oversold pullbacks, well, maybe you want to just use the dollar cost averaging approach, right? Or maybe you want to enter where there's a nice clear level of support, right? So that's how we prepare. And again, if we just take a look at SPXS from my call out, that was on August 16th. That was the exact bottom. Again, did I know that was going to be the bottom for sure? Absolutely not. But I said I'll add again at 450. But I took a position at 430, and I had a bunch of people message me saying, hey, I listened to your recommendation. I didn't even know what SPXS was. And I bought it right around that same time you said you bought it at 430. And now look what we're up, right? We're up almost 35%. Actually, more than that. I didn't do that properly. So from the low there, up over 35%. Right. So now you're in profit 35% instead of just buying more whatever, right? MJ or crypto. You could have took a S&P 500 short position or an SPXS position. You'd now be up 35%. So let's say you had $1,000, you now be up $350. Now you'd have $1,350 to put into said asset. And if we look at said asset, it's probably down 10, 20, 30%, right? Because of the weakness in the broader market. So now not only do you have more buying power, you're able to get in at a better price, right? And this is why I make the joke, if you're addicted to hitting the buy button, well, go consider taking a position in SPXS, right? Because you can still smash the buy button if you're addicted to doing that. But again, I wouldn't encourage buying SPXS right now, because I was encouraging you to do the back here. And now the risk is to the downside, right? We could easily fall 20% and still just be looking for, we wouldn't even be below those local lows, right? So that's the power of hedging. That's the power of having a plan and being prepared for all scenarios. Again, we can't control the geopolitical events that are at play. We can't control black swans, just events that we had no one saw coming, right? Like C-19, right? No one knows, but as long as you're prepared for that downside and the inevitability that nothing goes up forever. And right now, the markets have been extremely, extremely predictable. I don't know about you, but like I've never seen the markets this predictable and easy to read. And that makes me nervous when I'm in my flow state and everything's just going hunky dory. And I'm saying Bitcoin had a bear flag target of 18,500. It hits it. I said SPY probably going to 430, come back, form a higher low around 400. That's exactly what happened. I said maybe even a dip below, right? It's just been so obvious, but that tells me to dial back the reins. But people, when they start to make a little bit of money, they're, oh, I'm going to ride this out. I want to make 40% gains, not 30, right? They start to get greedy for that extra 10%. But again, when markets are predictable, we need to just dial back the reins a little bit and realize that there could be something unforeseen coming in either direction, right? So you take a short, maybe you get wrecked because the market has a bullish catalyst, or, you go long and it has a really big drop because of some China invading Taiwan news, right? Again, I hope that doesn't happen, knock on wood. But it's a real possibility, right? So we have to be prepared for all scenarios. But Tilray did lose the weekly uptrend briefly, but held that support. Hexo a little stronger in my opinion because of the fact that we held weekly support. So what did I say about Hexo? 18 cents was key support. Didn't care if we lost 20 cents. Want to see us close the week over the 10-week moving average. That's all I wanted to see. And right now we're on track to do just that, because if we take a look at the 10-week moving average, it's currently sitting at, let's just bring it up here full screen, 20 cents. So I said, I'm not concerned about the inter-week dips below the 10-week moving average. What I want to see is a continuation of that close over that moving average. So again, we held 18 cent support. That's the key support going forward, as if we lose that, we lose the weekly uptrend. And EMA 12, that yellow line, obviously a brick wall of resistance at the moment. So we'll want to get above that. If we can close a weekly candle over 23 cents, then that would be the first time since we did it briefly here. But the difference is here is we didn't confirm a weekly uptrend. We almost did with the higher low and higher high, ended up being a massive fake out and bull trap into a weekly lower low. Difference is here, we're already in a weekly uptrend, scouting another weekly higher low. So we're building support. It's looking really, really good. So like I said, want to see us close the week over 20 cents. CGC finally starting weekly consolidation. So it's basically the same as SPY. SPY hadn't consolidated in 6 weeks, neither did CGC. So as soon as we lost the low of the previous candle, we started weekly consolidation. So here we are starting weekly consolidation, and we're just scouting a higher low here compared to $2.13. So we could still pull back from current levels another 38% and still just be scouting a weekly higher low. But we still are not in a weekly uptrend on CGC. So it's a little bit weaker, even though it did have about 100% move there in a little over a month. But MSOS, again, still in a weekly uptrend. Key support there is 1096, and resistance to break is 1382. After 1382, we're probably going to be targeting the 1482 area, which is lining up with EMA 26. And we haven't closed a weekly candle over EMA 26 since we lost it as support. So the last time we closed over EMA 26 was back in July of 2021. So if we can close a weekly candle over that, I would say we're easily heading back up to $20 to $25 in a hurry. On the bull and bear list, we have Halo, Fit, and BioHarvest. On the bull list, we have FLGC, Ian, and LOWL. So we know some of our names like GTII has been extremely strong, just barely starting weekly consolidation. It is a potential weekly bull flag. So if we take the fib tool, we go from high to the low, anything over, let's get rid of that arrow, anything over 1554 is a potential weekly bull flag on GTII. And we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. It's quite a ways away from crossing. So maybe we pull back to around $15, scout that potential weekly bull flag. If we lose that, like I said, that 1550, that decreases the odds that we're going to see this weekly bull flag. And then we would favor a type of equilibrium where we come down, we form a higher low and a tightening range, and then we tighten up for potentially a month or so. But if we do see a weekly bull flag and we hold that 0.32 fib there at 1554, you just take the low to the high, then you move that over to the 0.32 fib, and we'd be targeting about $24.63 on GTII. If you recall, I did a video on GTII saying my target on this, that was about 3 weeks ago, and we were sitting at about $12, $13. When we confirmed the weekly uptrend, I said my target was going to be $20, and we hit $18.09. So it came within less than $2 of my target. And again, if we see that weekly bull flag, we could easily head up to that $24 area. And daily downtrend confirmed as well with a lower high and lower low. And EMA 26 there on the dailies at 1550 as well. So I think 1550 could be the area that we scout a bottom here. And then, like I said, if we hold that, it's a potential weekly bull flag targeting 24. All right, jumping into the chat. Hey, Mohammed. Rod, can you put out a chart on Tilray and see what possible direction it's going to do soon, please? Thanks, brother. Yep, I think I just did. So I think I already answered that for you, as I usually go through the MJ at the end anyway. But yeah, Tilray lost the weekly uptrend, but the fact that we dipped below that key support there at 317 and we're now back above it, as long as we close tomorrow over 317, it's fine in my opinion. We can just ignore that brief loss of support, and we'll just say that that was a potential bear trap, and then we'll expect more upside. So again, if we close the week over 317 tomorrow, last day of the week, if we close over that, I think there's a very good chance that we could be heading up to EMA 26, which is around 460 USD, as the weekly uptrend would still be intact. But we'll take a quick peek for you on the weekly time frame. So again, we're losing the 10-week moving average here on Tilray. Not looking good. We also had a bear cross on the stochastic. MACD still bullish, however. But if we can close tomorrow over 317, that's the bare minimum that I need to see. But you can see here the 10-week moving average is at 360. So if we close below 360, that's not going to be a good sign either. But to be absolute, to be the most bullish possible would be a close over 360 tomorrow. It's only about 30 cents. We'll see what happens. We know that there's talk about, a lot of pressure on Biden to deschedule, and then a lot of support for safe banking. And realistically, again, we need crypto and tech to top out, right, before MJ enters its new bull cycle. So I do think that we could still see another couple months of bullishness in tech and crypto. So that means that we may still see a little bit more weakness or sideways action, or just slow, turtle action on MJ until that occurs, right? And we know safe banking could have some real good chance. It might pass in the lame duck session toward the end of the year after the midterms. It may pass before the midterms. Maybe the Democrats use that as a way of leveraging to get back some votes in the polls. And we know that the Republicans, again, not to get political, I don't care who wins. I just want what's best for MJ, right? And what's best for MJ is safe banking. That's really going to be the only thing that takes us out of this rut that we're in, my opinion. We need safe banking, right? Look at all this other news that's coming out, and it's just not moving the needle at all, right? So we need a sector-wide catalyst. I've been saying this for almost a year. We need a sector-wide catalyst, and that catalyst that has the biggest chance of passing is safe banking, right? Then descheduling, I think, and then full-blown legalization maybe over the course of the next couple of years, right? Maybe 2 to 5 years. But anything sooner than that, we'll take it, right? But I think what will happen is safe banking will pass in the next 3 to 6 months. The Wall Street bankers are saying, they're lobbying the government, right? The Wall Street bankers are the one who, like the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs, there was actually a poll today or recently that said, how many of you think that the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, is corrupt and favors organizations like JP Morgan? And like 93% of people think the SEC is corrupt and tailors to those bankers. So they're, in my opinion, 110% corrupt, because JP Morgan was fined almost $1 billion for manipulating gold and silver. So if they're manipulating precious metals, which have been around for, essentially all financial markets existence, well, of course they're going to manipulate an illegal substance in the US, right? Again, the Wall Street bankers have a lot of money. They run the world, right? They have a lot of money into these tobacco companies and these MJ companies. So they need, alcohol and tobacco. They need to find a way to pivot their business and their investments so that they can there's a reason why JP Morgan won't let some of its clients trade OTC tickers, is because they don't want the prices to pop off. They want to get their bags packed first, and then they'll allow the clients to come in, right? It's borderline crooked. Like, they should be behind bars, but essentially they just pay a fine and slap on the wrist and they keep going, right? So the markets are manipulated. You can't beat them, join them. And, like I said, just think like a whale. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, right? We know that the bankers have to get positioned first. So that's why I think safe banking will pass first. And then we get descheduling. And then we get up, as a result of the safe banking, that's going to, people will be able to buy things with their credit cards. They'll have access to traditional funding methods, and they'll uplist to the NYSE and the NASDAQ, right? So that's, in my opinion, what's likely going to be the layout, right? What the hell? You're supposed to be on vacation. Yes, I am. I didn't even really look at the market today, to be honest. I was doing some stuff with my Airbnb. When I say I'm on vacation, it just means that, I'm always working, right? So, but I will be on true vacation mode. I'm basically half on vacation at the moment, but come Tuesday, I'll be going to PEI. And I'm going to be visiting family. I'll be golfing a lot, visiting friends and family. I haven't been to PI. I have tons of friends there I haven't seen in over a year, probably a year and a half now. So yeah, it'll be, I'll be in full vacay mode here mid next week. But, I just like coming on here. I don't find this working, honestly. Like, I do have an appointment that I got to run to in about 20 minutes, but I enjoy coming on here and sharing my thoughts and opinions and getting your guys' thoughts and opinions and helping you guys out, just sharing what I see when I see it, right? And today I felt like we had a pretty important market update, and I wanted to come on and, like I said, just continue to support you guys as well. You guys support me all the time. So like I said, it goes both ways. But thank you very much. I am enjoying the time off, the downtime. Go team Tilray, Hexo, Afria, Molson Coors, North, 48 North, and Redican. Yep, absolutely. Any comments on Seeking Alpha article about possible lawsuit on behalf of shareholders? A lawsuit on who? I assume you mean an MJ company. Maybe just let me know, Jeffrey. I'm not familiar. Like I said, I've been kind of checked out here, not really tuning into the markets that much over the last couple of days. So I appreciate it if you could just elaborate. Do you mean MJ or a specific MJ company, or is it completely different thing altogether? Oh, you just commented right below it, actually. Sorry about that. The Tilray one. Yeah, I did see something on that. To be honest, I don't think it's a big deal. Yeah, I didn't really read it too much into it, but I did skim over it, and I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's anything to worry about. That definitely explains, though, why we had the weakness in Tilray, right? We lost the weekly uptrend, and a name like Hexo still held its weekly uptrend, right? Because what did I say? As long as 18 cents holds, we still have the low, high, higher, low, and higher high pattern. So right now we're just looking for a higher low. So that is probably attributing to the weakness and the loss of that weekly uptrend here on Tilray. So good point. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding us. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything to worry about. Hi, Patrick. Can you check LFST? Sure, no problem. Let's take a look. Yeah, so this is another instance. If you can let me know the exchange too, because some things have multiple tickers and multiple exchanges, but I assume you mean Lifest, the formerly known as Namaste. And we'll go on the TSX. So yeah, they have that new product out, right? That like nutrient supplement. And yeah, a name like this, I just find it super risky. I mean, you could put, $1,000 into this thing and just ride or die kind of thing. That's probably all I would do. I actually have a reminder when I get back from vacation. I'm going to put an order in for the product and try it out. I have to try things. Like I can't just buy a company. Like imagine Warren Buffett buying McDonald's without trying their burgers. You know what I mean? Or any of their products, right? So when I buy MJ companies, I have to try their products. Like that's why I don't buy a lot of US MJ right now, is because they're not uplisted yet. And I don't know which ones are going to be the winners and losers, because I haven't tried any of their products. That's why my biggest holdings MSOS, the ETF, because I just feel more comfortable holding a basket of them, like 100 different MJ stocks in the US, just because I'm a big advocate that I need to try the products first. And that's why I like Hexo so much, is just because every one of their products is fantastic. I can't live without them, right? I'll continue to buy them for probably until the day I die, right? But there's more to it than just that as well. But I'd have to try it. We're still relatively low here in terms of liquidity. There's not a whole lot of volume in this. It has been ramping up like crazy, obviously, over the last week because of all the hype and euphoria and just excitement and attention going on regarding that new product. And they are selling out of it like crazy. So we'll see. I'll try it out, but it is a daily bull flag at the moment. So if we just take a look at the, actually, no, we did lose the 0.32 fib there. So we are favoring a type of equilibrium now. And after that big move, I would say we might see something like that, where we come down, maybe target we came close to the golden pocket here at the 618. So I think we could be targeting the 786, which would line up with daily EMA 26 there around 6.5, 7 cents. So expect a pullback, I would think, to that area. It is a daily inside part today. So resistance to be watching is 10.5 cents. Support to be watching is 8.5. So if we do lose 8.5 going into tomorrow, we're likely heading down to that 6.5 cents in my opinion. But we're just scouting a daily higher low compared to the low here at 4.5 cents. But yeah, like I said, it's this stock has a lot to prove. We are bouncing like crazy here on the weekly time frame. So from the low there, we bounced 327% ish, and we still haven't seen the bull cross here on the EMA. So we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, but we haven't confirmed a weekly uptrend yet. We don't have our higher low and higher high. So that's why I think that we could see a pretty big pullback, at least to around 7 cents. We'll come up, form a weekly higher low around 7 cents, and then scout that trend change on the weekly time frame with a higher high. We still need the higher low and then a higher high to give us that weekly uptrend. But on the monthly time frame, we're bouncing in a big way here as well, just like a lot of our MJ names. But yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to try their product, and yeah, I know this name, just like a lot of MJ, really burned a lot of people, but even a name like Tilray down 96% from February 2021 highs and down like 99% from its all-time highs. So you can't really say that LFST is in a world of its own, because it's not, right? It's just par for the course. But hopefully that helps. It used to be Namaste and now called Legacy. Yep, I'm familiar with it. We talked about it all the time in the POW Group community. And they have a new product, Self, which sold out 3 times now. Yep. Share price went from 5 cents to 14.5. It's now at 9.5 cents from Hudson, Quebec. Well, welcome. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much everything that you said, I think I went over as well. And yeah, I want to try it out first, right? I don't buy into the hype and all that stuff. I have to try it myself first. I have to make sure the product works, and obviously see how everything, are they going to be able to keep up with demand? They could even be a good buyout target, honestly, with all the consolidation going on in the sector. If this new product is as good as they say it is, and like I said, I'll be the judge of that when I try it, and I'll keep everybody posted. So yeah, just stay tuned on that. LFST on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Yep, perfect. So that's the one that I was looking at. So we're all good there. Do have to run here in about 10 minutes. So if any final questions are coming in, just let me know. Not seeing any at the moment, but we'll just take another quick peek in here at the crypto space. So we did have a falling wedge that was breaking bullish on XRP as well, but the crypto space starting to show some signs, like I said, because of the fact that we hit that 18,500 target, that daily bear flag. I think we could see a pretty big move coming. A lot of people think we're going lower. And what do we know? When the majority of people think we're going to do something, it's usually the opposite that happens. So now everybody's screaming 12K, 13K on Bitcoin. I'm starting to think that the bottom could very well be in, at least temporarily, over the next couple of months. And then what we could see is a big move in Bitcoin. And then after Bitcoin tops out, maybe we bounce up to around the 25K area, 30K area, and then maybe even 40K. We'll see how, what catalysts come our way with this regulation and Ethereum merge, everything. And then after Bitcoin sees a pretty big move and relief rally, I think that's when altcoins are going to go. But yeah, monster trade that we took on SPXS. Again, that's the benefit of being in a trading group as well, right? I called that out on August 16th to the day and up 36%. I bought a ton of MJ. I bought a bunch of Tilray a couple days ago. I bought a bunch of MSOS. Added to those positions. I bought a little bit more Hexo at 19 cents. I couldn't resist. Not a lot. I added like just a tiny bit, maybe 2% of my holdings, maybe even 1%. But then Tilray, I added like half of my portfolio to it because I've been waiting. And MSOS as well. I added a big position on that. I also added some MedMen, some Oxley, some OGI, some High Tide. I added a bunch of cryptos over the last couple of days as well. I bought HBAR. I bought HNT, Helium. I bought Filecoin and Chainlink. but going to wrap it up. SPY is up a little bit after hours, basically testing the high of the day. So the resistance to get over is 401.56. If we get over 401.56, we have a lack of resistance all the way up to 420, essentially 419.96. All right, not seeing any further questions, and perfect timing. I do have to run to get my haircut here, so I'm gonna peel and head out there now. Thanks everybody for joining the stream. As always, it's a pleasure. Again, as a reminder, I'm going to be on vacation over the next week and a half. I'll try to get some videos out as much as I can, probably over periodically throughout the week, through the weekend, and maybe into Monday. But after Tuesday, I'm probably going to be going dark, pretty dark for a little while. Like I said, probably about a week. But again, if something catastrophic happens or something, a big event happens, maybe I'll come on, do a mobile upload or something like that, just to give my 2 cents on the topic. But if you could smash the like on your way out, I would appreciate it. And hope everyone has a fantastic Friday tomorrow and a weekend ahead if I don't talk to you. But again, thanks so much for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. And we'll resume the regular schedule in about a week and a half. Looking forward to the downtime and visiting family. All right, going to end it there. If you could, smash the like I said, help support me in the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. Subscribe, tick the bell, and be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Have a great night. See you on the next video.